There are three C words that perfectly describe the Trump presidency, and no, one of them is not the word you're thinking of. I can't say that on YouTube, but they are criminality, corruption, and chaos. And it's that final one, chaos, that we are seeing most of all right now. The stock market is plummeting. We see concern across industries, business leaders calling out Donald Trump because of the chaos he has created with the stupidest trade war in history. And it's not just business leaders, it is also his allies in the media and specifically at the Fox propaganda outlet, because this morning in an interview that just aired, Donald Trump was called out to his face when caught in a lie by Maria Bartiromo on these tariffs. We are going to get into it all. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we can get into the interview with Maria Bartiromo, I think we need a bit of context from Justin Trudeau right here.
They've chosen to launch a trade war that will, first and foremost, harm American families. They've chosen to sabotage their own agenda that was supposed to usher in a new golden age for the United States. And they've chosen to undermine the incredible work we've done together to tackle the scourge that is fentanyl, a drug that must be wiped from the face of the earth. So on that point, let me be crystal clear. There is absolutely no justification or need whatsoever for these tariffs today. Now, the legal pretext your government is using to bring in these tariffs is that Canada is apparently unwilling to help in the fight against illegal fentanyl. Well, that is totally false. Let's look at the facts. Our border is already safe and secure. Far less than 1% of fentanyl flows and less than 1% of illegal crossings into the United States comes from Canada. But we acted because we know we can always do better. We responded to concerns, including from the President, by implementing an ambitious $1.3 billion border plan. A border plan that includes generational investments in new AI and imaging tools to stop the flow of fentanyl in its tracks, stronger coordination and information sharing with American agencies, along with the deployment of drones, helicopters, and additional personnel to keep our border secure. Now, a month ago, as part of an agreement with the United States that paused the tariffs, we made further commitments. We appointed Kevin Brasseau as our fentanyl czar, a man who dedicated his multi-decade career in law enforcement to combating organized crime networks and drug trafficking. We designated 7 drug cartels, sick, evil groups who cynically profit off the pain and suffering of people on both sides of the border, as the terrorist organizations that they are. And just yesterday, we launched a new joint operations partnership supported by a $200 million investment between Canada's security and law enforcement agencies, a partnership that will enhance the coordination of information and intelligence in order to thwart criminal gangs involved in the illegal fentanyl trade. And critically, our actions are working. As the U.S. Customs and Border Protection just acknowledged, there was a 97% drop in fentanyl seizures from January compared to December, to a near zero low of less than half an ounce seized in January.
This trade war doesn't make sense. People go back and forth on whether Donald Trump actually wants tariffs or if he's just trying to use this as a tool to be strong or pretend to be strong. But if that was the case, if he was just trying to get concessions out of Mexico and Canada on the border, he already didn't do that, but said he did. It doesn't make any sense if that's his plan. And if he's using this as an economic tool, it makes even less sense. He is causing prices to rise. He is causing chaos in the business community. The stock market, like I said, is plummeting. None of these decisions make any sense at all, and it's the reason he was called out by Maria Bartiromo right here.
You spoke to the president of Mexico today. I want to talk about tariffs because even as you're seeing this optimism and excitement, there's some nervousness over your tariffs. Markets have been selling off. People are not sure how to view it. Why did you roll back or put a pause into some of the tariffs until April 2nd?
Because I wanted to help Mexico and Canada to a certain extent. We're a big country, and they do a lot of their business with us, whereas in our case, it's much less significant. We do very little with Canada by comparison. And I wanted to help the American car makers until April 2nd. April 2nd, it becomes all reciprocal. What they charge us, we charge them. It's a big deal, but what they charge us, we charge them. But this is short term, and I felt that for the good of the American car makers and the MCA, you know, the USMCA, that's Mexico, Canada. I thought it would be a fair thing to do, and so I gave them a little bit of a break for this short period of time.
But I asked you about this before, and I know you told me when I asked you, I said, you did use MCA, you put this together.
Yeah.
And yet then you come back and you change it up with these tariffs, and you said to me at that time, I did it because I can. I put an amendment in there, and I said in 6 years I can change it. But I think CEOs want to see predictability. They say, look, I have to speak with shareholders. I've got to make plans for CapEx spending. I can't if it's 20% one day and then it's off for a month and it's 25%.
Yeah.
So can you give us a sense of whether or not we are going to get clarity for the business community?
Well, I think so. But, you know, the tariffs could go up as time goes by, and they may go up. And, you know, I don't know if it's predictability. I think
so that's not clarity.
No, I think
it's that last line at the end. That's not clarity. You're not being clear. No one understands this stupid plan. And yeah, we've been saying that for a long time. But there were so many Trump supporters in the media or in online circles saying, oh, well, don't believe what he says, believe what he does. That's the thing with Republicans and Trump. It's always some version of getting around his inexcusable actions because actually there's some deeper meaning. He's playing 4D chess. Well, you don't need to think in the 4D chess, like higher level terms to see that the stock market is down by a couple of thousand points. We're seeing horrible jobs numbers, and people are reacting like a recession is coming because Donald Trump is acting in such absurd ways. People are getting hurt by these policies. And the worst thing about them is if he continues to push off the tariffs, prices are still going to be up. Companies are reacting in advance. We just saw Target's CEO said prices are already rising because of this expectation. It happened with Walmart in January. And you think those companies are going to lower those prices? No, inflation has been brought back by Donald Trump, and it's just going to stay that way. And someone who talked more about how this is really hurting his local constituents is Congressman Robert Garcia.
Let's talk about the on-again, off-again tariffs. The president said yesterday he's not even looking at the stock market. But what do you think is influencing Trump with the back and forth on the tariffs? Wall Street or Main Street or something else?
Who knows? Because whether you talk to Republicans or Democrats, no one has any idea what Donald Trump is doing as it relates to tariffs. Look, I am just blocks away from the single largest seaport in the United States, container seaport, here in Long Beach and Los Angeles. The amount of chaos that is happening at America's ports right now is incredibly serious and, quite frankly, dangerous to our economy. I also chair the Congressional Ports Caucus. It's bipartisan. I am talking to port and trade executives across the country, and the uncertainty that is happening right now is causing major issues, not just to ports who are having to plan trucking routes, technology, moving freight, shipping lines, but also to small businesses. Businesses right now are scrambling. They're trying to figure out how they're going to get goods into the country. What's it going to cost? How do I pass those costs on to my employees or to my customers? Because I may not be able to afford what's coming in. And so the chaos that's being created right now at America's ports, who drive much of our economy, especially on our coasts, is really concerning. And Donald Trump has no idea what he's doing. He should visit America's ports. He should come down and talk to port and trade executives and small businesses. And so it's chaos right now in the supply chain, and that's going to do nothing to help the economy. In fact, it's continuing to damage it.
And in the meantime, he is having conversations with foreign leaders, our neighbors, Mexico and Canada. He did say the exemption that he's now implementing here, specific to Mexico, is an accommodation and out of respect for President Sheinbaum. But of course, he's shown little love for Canada's leader. President Trump, and we know, spoke with Prime Minister Trudeau yesterday. And according to a Western government official, that call was extremely abusive on the part of the president. Here's what Trudeau said yesterday.
Your foreign affairs minister yesterday called all of this a psychodrama. How do you characterize it?
Thursday.
Now, in previous calls, President Trump has also reportedly questioned the 1908 treaty that established the border between the U.S. and Canada. What do you make of this relationship at the moment?
I mean, what's totally crazy is what leader, what American president is going to start essentially saying that Canada is going to be our next state, or referring to the leader of Canada as a governor of the United States. I mean, this is absolutely chaotic. It's disrespectful. Canada is a critical ally and neighbor of the United States, our entire northern border. And he's treating the country, its leader, its elected leader, and the people of Canada with enormous disrespect. This is no way to treat an ally who, by the way, that we need. We need Canada for trade. We need Canada to grow our economy, for jobs, and of course to support each other with national security, with ensuring that fentanyl and the drug trade isn't growing. And yet he insults not just Canada, but the country and its people. It's crazy. I mean, look, we can expect more of this from Donald Trump. And I think what's really important at this moment is that people speak out against the damage he's doing to the economy. Look at the stock market. Look at the unemployment rate. Look at the reaction from small business owners. Donald Trump is doing nothing to lower the cost of goods, which is what he said he'd do. Instead, he's launching a trade war.
Congressman Robert Garcia, we certainly appreciate you speaking out and speaking with us on all these important issues. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Our friend of the show, Congressman Robert Garcia, is spot on. People are being hurt by these tariffs. People are being hurt by Donald Trump's disastrous economic agenda, and we have to call it out. This is not a smart guy. This is not an astute businessman. This is someone pretending to be strong when he is weak, and it is backfiring tremendously. And we are going to call that out every single day on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.